Today I want to talk about exit plans. And even if you are not in business today, let's say that you're considering it, you're looking around the internet or you're talking to your friends, trying to figure out what you can do on the side or what you can do to replace your full-time income, one of the important things to think about before you get started is your exit plan. And I know that's like putting the cart before the horse, right? But it's really not. And this is a valuable lesson that I learned in my early 20s when I had my first business. And it affected how we did business. And it really makes a big difference. So when you are looking to do a business, what you want to do is say, if I decide I want to get out of this business in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or maybe next year even, how can I structure the business so that I can sell it for a profit and so that I can make the most out of my investment? And that can be big things like coming up with a sales model and business model and all of that will maximize your revenues, because some people like to buy a business based on revenues. Or it could be one that maximizes your profit, because some people are more profit-based. Or it can mean simple things like coming up with a business name. For instance, if you take a lot of time building your brand, like if I spent a lot of time building a brand called Maria's Flower Shop, and then later on I wanted to sell it, and somebody named Joe buys my flower shop, he may not like the name, but yet I've spent all this time and effort becoming known to be Maria's Flower Shop. So now Joe he may not care. I mean, he may be fine with keeping the name. He may change it, in which case he's going to take a hit probably on his, the momentum that the name has going. But in naming a business, I look to naming it something that you can sell later. So maybe instead of Maria's Flower Shop, I might call it Gloria's Flowers, like glorious, not Gloria's. Or I might call it Beautiful Arrangements or something like that. Something that can be sold later without the new owner having to change the name right away. Another thing is how important you are in a business. At first, you're going to do it all, probably. We all wear many hats as small business owners, but you need to look at, even before you get started, how quickly and how efficiently you can hire other people to do what it is that you're doing. Because if you can fire yourself, then you can sell the business for a lot more money, because you are no longer needed. And one of the things that you have to consider, because it costs money, of course, to hire help or to outsource things or to automate things. I mean, if you're subscribing to a web service that does this or that, it's going to cost you money. So you have to make sure that your business model has enough revenue built in to cover all of those costs. So if you have a product-based business, for instance, and you pay $50 for something and you sell it for $60, you made $10. But if you have to have a bunch of software, or you have a selling platform like eBay or Amazon or Shopify, there are costs involved with that. And if you have, a VA that's doing your customer service and all that, there are costs involved in that. And then there's going to be a cost because of certain returns or product damage and things like that. So realistically, if you're selling your product for $60, you're probably losing money. You probably need to be selling it for $75 or $80 just to make the kind of money that you need to make. And let's do a case in point. A retailer like Walmart, for instance, is usually paying about 50 to 60% of the price that you see. So if you see something for $100, they're paying $50 to $60. But they're not ripping you off. The cost of their stores and their overhead and their logistics and their corporate offices and taxes and tariffs to import things and just everything is astronomical. And so really, they're probably only making $3 on that product. And that's the same thing that you have to look at. You have to build in all of your costs, but you also have to look at it as you are working your business so that you can fire yourself. In other words, you're not needed, so you can then sell the business at a profit down the road. And even if you decide to keep it, which you may, wouldn't it be awesome to have a business where you are not physically the one doing all the work? I mean, I love that kind of business. So that's my tip for today, to always look for an exit plan even before you start a business. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the success in the world.